Good evening, everyone. So good to have you here. Welcome to day 3 of 30 days of real estate content. My name is John Olis. I'm the CEO of Red Diamond Properties Limited. And today, I will be continuing on my content. I'll be talking today on tips, success tips for property brokers. I shared my story yesterday, how I started in the real estate sector in 2022 February, and I said yesterday in my live, which is available on my YouTube channel, John Olisa, how I started out, and I started out as a property broker, and I stated some of the things that were quite enticing and made me to join. Yeah, I was fascinated by the ability to earn hugely, just bringing a buyer and seller together and getting your commission. I stated that the way you get paid in real estate as a broker is by commission, and it varies. It could be 5% for house sale, 10% for land sale. Sometimes it could be higher, it could be lower. So today I want to be sharing some tips that you can utilize if you're starting out as a property broker and that will make you succeed. And I've noted 5 of them. And the first thing is to have a large network of property brokerage. One thing I love about real estate is collaboration. You cannot do it alone. Have a large network of property brokers. So never say you do not have a property. If you get a serious client, never say you do not have a property. You must get the property. So you want to build relationship with other property brokers, real estate companies, so that when somebody needs a property, even if you do not have it in your own catalog of property, you reach out to them. It's very important. I'm on different property groups, from property sale groups to short-let groups, up to 10, more than 10. So even if I do not have a property in my own catalog, I check there and I reach out to other brokers. Yesterday, I shared with you about my first sale about 2 years ago, which was a 45M sale. I did not have the property when the client reached out to me. He needed a 2-bed. So I had to go on a property listing website and I got the property I needed. So I could not tell him I don't have 2-bed. No, you must have that relationship with so many different property brokers so that when you need a property, you can reach out to your network and get it. Reach out to your network. So you have to start building relationships with property brokers. That is number one. It will help you. The second thing I want to say to succeed as a property broker is to keep close relationships with your previous clients. When you sell a property to one person, know that one property buyer can buy 2, can buy 3, can buy 4. And let me share, this is my same story of my property sale. I said the first property I sold was 45 million to the same client. After that sale, I kept close contact with him. 1 week later, he bought a second property, 50 million. I still kept close touch with him, getting his documentation, advising him on how to effectively run the property. Remember yesterday I shared one of the tips for success, which is knowing so much about the industry. So beyond being a property broker, I have an industry-wide knowledge of the real estate sector, whether it's property brokerage or whether it's short-let management, whether it's running short-let successfully, which I'll still talk about in subsequent days, whether it is property development, whether it is property rental. So I'm not just a property broker, I'm an investment advisor, which is what I shared yesterday. So when you come to me to buy property, I don't just tell you buy this property, don't buy. I give you value so that you can make informed decision. So back to keeping in close touch with your client. I kept close touch with him. When he brought the property, I helped him get his document. I started advising him on what he can do. You can use it for short-let, you can use it for rental. The other property you have in Abuja, this is what you can do. So keeping that relationship with him has really helped me. In fact, today, today is 25th of February, we still spoke today for about 15 minutes. I'm advising him on one of his properties, on how to get, he wants to resell it, and there's a tenant that is there, and he needs advice on how to do it successfully without incurring any legal liability. I'm advising him. I've sold the property to him, but I'm still maintaining that relationship with him about 2 years after. So you want to maintain that relationship with your clients. When he bought it, my property for me, I appreciated him, sent him a company branded mug When he lost his mom, I maintained relationship with him. My company sent him something, sent him a token of support. You see, when you become a property broker, you're not just a salesperson. You become like, your goal should be to become family with your client, because one client can open the door to 100 clients, or one client can be a repeat client that can buy millions and billions of property from you. Because you need to know that there are so many other brokers out there. Some will not treat their clients well, but you need to know relationship should come before money. I repeat, relationship before money, over and above money. Because for somebody to be able to buy property worth millions from you, they have the ability to buy much more. So just endeavor to keep and have a very strong relationship with them. Remember, the first one is to have a large pool of property brokers that you reach out to when you need property, so that when a client asks you for a property, you don't say you don't have the property. And secondly is to maintain strong relationships with your clients. Even some clients I sold to land last year, I still maintain a relationship with them. When they have inquiries on the land, I still answer. If they have issues, I help to maintain their relationship with the property company that sold to them. So I don't cut them off. I maintain relationship with them. And those same clients, they brought other family members who have bought properties in the same place they bought from. So you want to maintain relationship with them. The third tip for success as a property broker is to attend industry meetings. There is something about industry meetings that makes your clients know that this my broker is not just a mere seller of property, of land or house. He or she knows what is happening. So when you attend industry meetings, take pictures, put videos out there of lessons learned, of how you networked. That shows to your clients that you are still actively involved in your sector. It increases their trust in you. I remember here in Abuja, I attend industry meetings, whether it's the open fireside chat or the likes. I try to attend industry, whether it's one real estate company like Patrick Morgan who is having a meeting for brokers. I try to attend. I take pictures. I make my clients know that I am still part of this sector. I am active. So attending industry meetings is a very good tip for success. It may not bring you direct instant sales, but it makes your clients know that you're still actively playing in the industry. That's the third one. There's so many others, but I'll just share a few more. Number 4 is that you must master negotiation. Real estate can be brutal. Master negotiation. Master negotiation psychology. But one thing I'll just tell you that you should do is that never lose a sale just because of reduced commission. So you should be able to waiver your commission. You've gotten a client that is serious. Don't, because of losing maybe 1%, 0.5%, lose the sale. But you need to be brutal at first. Say, no, this is what I want. This is it. But ultimately, do not lose a sale just because you get a lower commission. And let me share this my story. I've seen in one real estate sale, I get so many stories. Remember I said that the commission on a house sale is 5%. But the first property I sold, which was 45 million, I was not the direct broker that got the property. I had a direct buyer, but I didn't have the direct seller. So somebody that took me to the direct seller. And the direct seller had his own agents too. So from 5%, you won't believe I didn't get 5%. I just got 1.5%. But this was my first major seller, and I was like, I would rather get something than get nothing. Because you need to also realize that your buyers also have other brokers they are working with. You need to be aware of that. So in as much as you should negotiate, don't lose a sale just because of the lower commission. So allow the deal to go through. The first sale went, I got 1.5% commission. But in the next sale, which happened the next week, I had already gotten the agent of the direct seller. So the broker that brought me in, I didn't need him again. I had already done rightly on that transaction I paid him his brokerage fee. We got 1.5% each, and the direct broker of the seller got 2%. But in the second deal, the next week, I was in touch with the direct broker of the seller, and I had higher negotiating power, 5%, but I said, no, we are not doing like I did 1.5%. I will take 4%. I'll give you 1%. Because in this instance, he also got something from the seller. Whether not 5%, but I just felt good with, let me give him something. So I gave him 1%, I got 4%. The third sale, I had the full negotiating power, and I told him, no, I'm not giving you anything. Get yours from the seller. And I got my full 5%. But you see, because of my negotiating tactic, the first one, I was low on negotiation. I just could get 1.5%. I was desperate to make the sale. I didn't want to lose the sale. I was trying to get the trust of the client, one, the buyer. Remember, this buyer I'm talking about is a repeat buyer. This was the first property he was buying for me. By the time he was buying the second property, I had a stronger negotiation with the seller, with the seller's broker. And I told him, you get from the seller while I get from my buyer, and I got 4%. By the third one, I had already built trust over about 4 months with the buyer, and I took my whole 5%. I told the seller's broker to get from the seller. So you want to have strong negotiation skills. But all in all, do not lose a sale just because of negotiation. You may not always get the 5% or the 10%, but get something rather than getting nothing. Because you need to also know that your buyer who is buying through you has other people. And if you're on the side of the seller, you need to also be aware, except it's an exclusive brokerage where the seller gives you exclusively the right to sell and doesn't give it to other brokers. You need to know that if you're not the one that closes the deal, the seller may have a non-exclusive brokerage deal with you, and other brokers can sell it and you lose out. And remember, you might have put in resources, people coming for inspection, you running ads. Those are funds that you've put into it, and because the deal did not go through, you now lose out. So you must be able to weigh your options. But if you're a strong broker, you are a company, and you have strong clients who are loyal to you, or you have, that is in terms of buyer's place, or on the seller's place, you have strong sellers who are loyal to you, they have exclusive brokerage with you, that gives you much more room to negotiate. But if you know your negotiation is weak, like you don't have exclusive rights to the buyer is using other brokers, or you don't have exclusive brokerage rights to the seller, you just want to get something. But as you grow in the industry, you want to build your position as a strong broker. Getting your ultimate goal as a broker should be to get exclusive rights to broker to sell properties from the seller, and you also have strong relationship with your client, the buyer, that they trust you and they use you exclusively. If not, you are in a weak position. And the last but not the least, there are still so many, but I'll just stop here. The last but not the least is this: develop emotional strength. I cannot say this enough. One of my quotes in real estate is that real estate brokerage is for the strong. You need to be strong emotionally. If not, you'll be broken. Because real estate sales, you already get an interested buyer, interested seller, you're already calculating your 5% from buyer and seller, and the deal just falls through, it doesn't go through. That can be emotionally wrenching. And that can just make you say, I'm giving up. Now, I've shared my success in real estate. In my sales, I've made over 160, 170 million. That's in property sales. In short lets, in preparing documents and the likes, I would say I've done over 200, 300 million. But I want to focus more on sales. It has been heart-wrenching. And today I want to share my failures in this brokerage. And when I mean failures, I mean instances that have been close to closing a sale, but it fell through. So the first one was about a 350 million naira deal. I checked so many properties. Now this one, I was a broker to the buyer's direct contact. So I was just one person away from the buyer. And we had checked so many properties. And we finally got one. And we're close to closing it. Only for the buyer to now say no, that he has already gotten the property from another broker that is not interested. or the story that he had direct access to the buyer. He's not interested. He had direct access rather to the seller that is not interested. And it felt so bad because the broker that connected me felt as though I circumvented him, because I had taken the buyer's broker to that property and the buyer's broker said he does not want that property, only for him, the buyer, to now ultimately now go with that property. So this broker that took me to that property felt as though I circumvented him. I felt so hot. I felt so pained. That was a 17.5 million commission deal that even if I could have gotten 5 million, 6 million, but it fell through. That is one failure. Another failure I encountered, there was this lady, broker, who was always asking me, any deal, any deal, any deal. And she would keep sending me properties. And now here was a deal. I was not in Abuja at the point of closing the sale. I was not the direct broker. The property buyer had his direct broker. I got the property for him, but I was not in Abuja and they needed to inspect it. Now, this person was always asking me any deal, any deal. On that day, I told her, go and inspect. For one story or the other, she said the owners of the property were not available. Would you believe that the buyer came, saw other properties, and made a purchase that same day? Checked two other properties. It was an 80 million naira property. I lost the opportunity to get a commission because of the sloppiness of the broker I worked with. So you can see these are things that are painful. You're close to getting a deal because it's not always easy getting clients. So when you now get clients, and whether to the sloppiness of the seller or brokers on your end, you lose out. It can be so painful. There's so many other stories. Let me share another one. This one was last year. It was 100 million property in Caro. And God being so faithful, I had direct access to the seller and the buyer. And the buyer showed so much seriousness. After a virtual inspection, he wrote his offer letter that day. This was 100 million and I was expecting 5 million from them. Only for the buyer some days later to say he wants to inspect it physically and just say, no, the place is too far. And he just called it off. Do you know what that means? And they don't just give a hoot. They just move on. So you need to be emotionally strong as a broker. Because remember, especially where you do not have exclusive brokerage rights to the seller, or you don't have like a hold on the buyer, they just move on. It can be so painful. And I can share so many other stories. But it just goes to show that as a property broker, you need to be emotionally strong. Because sometimes you're close to closing deals and the deals just fall through. And you want to give up and say, no, I'm not doing this again. But it doesn't work that day. It doesn't work that way. You need to keep pushing. So in conclusion, here are tips for success as a property broker. I shared 5 of them. 1, have a strong network, a large network of property brokers. 2, when people buy from you or you sell for people, maintain a close and strong relationship with them. Because whoever buys from you, 1 property can buy 2, can buy 3. I can introduce you to their network. Number 3, attend industry meetings. It helps to project you as one who is an authority, one who is actively involved in the industry, who knows what is happening. Number 3, have strong negotiation skills. Know where you are and know where to shift ground. That's number 4. And the last but not the least, be emotionally strong. So there's so many other things I can share, but I will stop here for now. Tomorrow, I'll be talking on a new aspect of real estate. And for those of you who can't watch this video live, I'm going to be putting it on my YouTube channel, John Olisa. I'm the CEO of Red Diamond Properties Limited, and you can contact me on +234 813 799 0792. We're a property brokerage company. We help people to buy property. So if you're a seller, you're a direct owner of a property, you need someone to help you sell your property in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, please reach out to us. We'll help you. And if you're a buyer, you need property in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, please reach out to us. We will help you get it. Also, we're a property development company. We recently launched our estate in Kuje, Abuja. It goes selling 200, 300, 400, and 1,000 square meters. With a 200 square meter land going for 1.5 million, you can build a 3-bedroom terrace duplex. With a 300 square meter land, you can build a 4-bedroom semi-detached duplex, while with a 400 square meter land, you can build a fully detached duplex of 5-bedroom. While on the 1,000 square meters going for 7 million, you can build a block of flats, 6 units, consisting of 2 units each of 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3 bedroom. So these are the things. You can contact me on +234-813-799-0792 for every and anything real estate. I want to appreciate you tonight for joining me on my live. My name is John Olisa, and if there's one thing I can tell you is this: if you follow me on real estate, you will get value that will help you succeed in the sector. Practical value. Remember, the number one rule of investment is this: before you invest money in any investment, invest money first in acquiring knowledge. And I'm not even asking you to pay for this. This is free value. So you can reach out to me. I'm ready to give you so much value, and we can do business in property purchase, in property development, and every and any area of real estate. Thank you so very much for joining me today on day 3, Wednesday, 25th February. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, where I'll be sharing on other aspects of real estate. Have a wonderful evening and night. Bye.